Hello, welcome to the Sonic Lab special. I'm here with Bert Smorenberg, who you may recognise as Yamaha's kind of ace demonstrator.
Thank you.
Yamaha, as you know, have just released a series of keyboards called Reface.
Yes, that's correct.
There's a variety of different models, 4 models.
Yep.
This one is the
CS.
Which is the sort of synthesizer model, basically. So what's this? What are the guts behind it? Is it analog? Is it VA? What's the?
Well, it's virtual analog based on the AN synthesizer that we used to make. Don't be fooled by the size because it's an amazing instrument. It's a real proper synthesizer with lots of controllers.
One thing I did notice is that they're all just really beautifully built. They're very, very solid.
Yes.
And they feel much heavier than one would expect from a sort of a mini keyboard instrument, which is these do have mini keys, right?
Exactly. They have mini keys. However, the keyboard is really, really nice. So for real players, the small keys are not a problem.
Right. Okay. So what are we talking about in terms of architecture? What have we got?
The thing is that what you can do here is you can basically select different oscillators and then just start filling around with it. What I can do is I can just open up the cutoff like this and open up the decay, and I get a very basic waveform.
Right.
Next to the oscillator we have 2 faders called texture and mod, and as soon as I start messing around with that, immediately you get a really big sound.
So that's like creating like a super saw detune type of effect and a sub oscillator by the sound of it.
Exactly. In this particular setting it will be a sub oscillator. However, if you change the different types of oscillators, the texture and mods will behave in a completely different way. For example, if I do this, as you can tell, I'm already getting carried away just by
That's
doing
just
this.
the oscillator, right? Okay.
So amazing filters as well. Resonance. Another thing I really like is the envelope generator. You have an envelope here with an ADSR, not only for the amplitude, but also for the filter. As you can see, there's a slide in between. Which makes
so
it even
it
more versatile.
morphs between the 2 envelopes, rather than just a switch, right?
Yeah,
okay, or fades between. That's handy.
Yeah.
I want to just come back to the filter though, because
Okay.
obviously everybody always wants to know what kind of filter it is and what's going on there.
Yeah.
So what is it?
It's an 18 dB filter. Let me bring it back. And you can tell it's really extreme and also very fast, so that's a great joy to play with.
And it self-resonates as well by the sound of it.
It does, yeah. Yeah, it's much more extreme than people think because it looks quite, friendly and modest and everything, but it's not at all.
And so the 4 waveform types that we've got,
Actually 5.
Five waveform types that we've got, they work on the basis that where you've got a single waveform, you can modify various parameters. And
That's exactly it. What I can do is I can show you a few things. For example, the type of oscillator is always connected to the texture and the mod. So if I just bring them back and I switch to the next oscillator like this, then you can tell that texture and mod will behave in a completely different way. Or maybe this one.
so that's changing the sync waveform relationship.
Exactly,
right? Okay.
that's what it is. This is a ring modulation.
Oh, that's very CS, isn't it?
It's extremely nice, I like it. Every time I demonstrate this instrument, I always get a bit carried away. I don't know why, but I'm sorry about that. And this is typical FM synthesis as well. So you can combine all that with, for example, the LFO section. The LFO section, you can say, I'm going to assign the LFO to oscillator, pitch, filter, amplitude, like this.
Maybe if we listen to that on a saw, we can hear, because that sounded like it was going quite high up in terms of audio rates.
Okay, let's give that a try.
So yeah, it does go very high. You can get that kind of almost a ring mod again from the envelopes. That's from the LFO as well.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's a fixed waveform. Sounds like it's probably a triangle.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Behaving on every different section in the same way, exactly.
Gotcha, okay.
Yeah.
And we've also got an effects section too,
Yeah.
which kind of, I'm guessing, is going to add quite a lot of flavour to the whole thing.
It's nice. You can have, for example, delay on your sound. Maybe some phasing. Or, and this is the one I particularly like,
Right,
distortion.
Again, is this all in DSP? Presumably it must be, right? So,
Yes, it's like virtual analog synthesis, that's it.
Okay, and I do notice up at this end we've got a pitch bend lever. The musicians are very conservative when it comes to their taste. So this is a pitch bend lever. We haven't got a mod wheel on this particular instrument, right?
No, not in this particular model. We don't. What we try to do is people really should play and really interactively, work with the instrument in real time all the time. So that's why it totally invites you to constantly change your sounds.
It is very tweaky. I must admit, I was playing it a bit before we actually started up, and you're off. There is a sort of musicality to it. Combine that with the solid build, and it actually is quite a compelling instrument. Perhaps you just give us some more sounds. What's it like in the bottom end?
Well, what I can do is I can just octave it down like that. I can just bring it back.
What happens if we take the resonance out a bit? Do we get a bit more?
Okay. I'm going to mess around with the filter a bit. Bit distortion. So, and everybody I've seen playing with this instrument sounds in a different way, so it has a lot of different identities as well.
So in many ways it's got a kind of similar flavour to the some of the smaller CS01, the CS5, those kind of things, the sort of little smaller synthesizers, but with the added effects as well.
I believe that too, yeah.
But we've got 8-voice polyphony as well, so can it do pads?
Yes, it can. So what I can do is I can just bring it back to a bit of a more modest sound, a bit octave up a bit. And then you can switch to polyphonic, like this. Take the distortion a bit of maybe.
There's a chorus on there as well, that looks interesting.
You can do that as well. You can bring that in. Take this one down. So it's really interesting. And if you go into mono mode, you can even say, I want to have a bit of portamento. So it's just all there.
So it goes up quite high.
It does.
And am I right in thinking that it's battery powered as well?
Yes, and this is the cool thing about it. It has built-in speakers and it's battery powered, so you can take it with you everywhere you go.
Do the gig on the bus, as we're very fond of saying here at Sonic Towers.
That's what you guys do in England, right?
Yeah, every time. So a couple of other things I'm interested in is Midi capabilities. There's a USB port as well. What's going on with that?
The thing is, if you hook it up to your DAW, whatever it is, what happens is not only will it record the MIDI, it will also record all the stuff that you're doing here, all the controller data. Exactly.
And what about audio over USB? Is it just MIDI?
It's just MIDI.
And I noticed that there's a sort of funky little port on the back of it for actual MIDI I/O. Does it require a special adapter?
It does, and it is of course included. I'll show you what it is. It's this one actually.
Okay, so it's like a mini DIN to two, so it's in and out basically.
That's it. Yeah. So it comes with the instrument, of course, and then you can use it like that as well.
Okay, so perhaps you'd just like to give us a little bit more playing. That sounds like we need to hear some more.
Oh, absolutely. The thing about this is it's very inspirational because, as you can tell, it has no presets, right? So all you have to do is you basically just work with the instrument. Of course, there's an app. There will be an app available where you can basically store all your settings in an app and recall them as well.
So it's like a controller information snapshot.
That's exactly what
I guess you could do that in the DAW as well if you wished. So, but yeah, okay, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, and that's what makes this instrument, so interesting. So let me see. If I'm just going to play some notes. I'm going to select a different oscillator. If you don't stop me here, I'm going to be playing all day and all night, honestly.
Okay, well, Bert, thank you so much for coming in and showing us. We're going to look at some of the other things in the range as well. Be sure to check those out if you get the opportunity. Thanks for watching.